So rewind back to my college days. I come home from college. It's summer vacation. I've been busy studying at college. I have not gone running in a long time, so I decided I'm going to start running again. I'm going to get back in shape. I go out, I run like 5 miles or whatever it is, come back exhausted, but I'm determined I'm going to run 5 miles a day or whatever it is. I can keep that up for maybe 2 days and khalas, I'm done. I just need to rest. I just cannot get myself out of bed to do it. Move forward a little bit, post-college days, I'm working, I'm whatever, and I decide I am going to learn a new language. So I get excited for it, I buy some materials, a book, some audio materials, I bring it home, it's Saturday, day off, there's no one in the house. I sit down and I study the whole day and I just learn as much of that language as I possibly can. And then in the following week, maybe I study a little bit, but I just get busy and I'm exhausted and my brain is burnt out on it. So this is the problem I've had, and I'm sure some of you can relate. I'm going to call it overstuffing. So basically you get something, you're excited about it, and then you take on more than you can handle, and then because you bit off more than you can handle, it's like eating a huge meal that's more than fits in your stomach. You're overstuffed, and you're burnt out, and you can't handle it anymore, and you quit. There's two sides to this. Not only does it burn you out, so that you then veer to the lazy side and you have no motivation left anymore. But it also, when you overstuff, it's like eating a huge giant meal. Your body is not going to process all that nutrition, and a lot of it is just going to be lost and not used. When you overstuff your brain, the stuff that you studied and you tried to put in there is lost and not used. And the same thing happens for, those procrastinators out there. You know who you are, who wait till the very last minute and then you try to overstuff your brain right before the test. It doesn't work because your brain is just going to lose a whole lot of what you just studied. Maybe you'll remember it for the test, but not all of it. So what should you do instead? Just like meals where you eat most of us eat 3 meals a day on a regular basis and we pre-plan it and they're not huge and they're like normal portions. Do the same thing whether it be a project you're working on or whether you're studying for class or learning. You need to set your times, break down times into reasonable amount of chunks. Studies say that people can't really focus on one thing for more than an hour and a half at a time. Learn to know yourself. Just like when you're eating a meal, you kind of know you're finished when you're feeling full. You pay attention to your stomach. When you are learning and studying, learn to start paying attention to your brain, to your own focus levels, your own energy levels. My pattern that I've noticed when I start something, it usually takes me a little bit of time to get into it, and then I really get into that focused mode where I'm really learning and it feels good and I'm making progress. I might have those aha moments of, oh, I get it, or whatever it is. And those are the exciting times, and those are the times when I most feel like, oh, I should just keep doing this for the next 2 hours, right? But that's actually right about when I'm getting full, okay? That aha moment that I grasp it means it's coming into my brain got it. Now my brain's probably full with that new learning that I just had, and it's probably about time or close to time that I should actually take a break. Because your brain needs those times of focus and those times of rest. They call it diffused thinking. Times of rest is when your learning is really cemented, and you need that. So pay attention to your own brain when you start feeling full, when your focus starts going down, whatever it is. Take a break. But also be really disciplined about those times. The fact that you're not overstuffing yourself is going to help you, motivate you. But even those times when you're not motivated, be disciplined and consistent about sitting down and studying. Just like you would eat 3 meals a day. Like, you might not always feel like eating healthy food or whatever it is, but you sit down and you do it. So be consistent about your learning, and that's going to help you go back and forth between these focus times and these rest times, which is what your brain needs to learn effectively and to process the material effectively. The third thing I'm going to say, and has more to be about being disciplined than about overstuffing, but the two go hand in hand. Be disciplined from the start of your day. And this I have learned about myself very well. If I wake up on time and set my alarm, even during summer vacation, I'm a teacher. And as a teacher, I can tell you, I can be the worst and laziest person during summer vacation. So these are things I do to help me not waste an entire 2 months of the year. Wake up in a timely fashion. Sometimes I get up and exercise, or maybe it's eat breakfast, whatever it is, but have a kind of a consistent schedule as if I was going to work, even though I'm not. And if you start the day consistent and disciplined, the rest of the day is consistent and disciplined. I can guarantee you that if I decide to sleep in, that I will probably end up eating junk food for breakfast. I will probably have no motivation and end up surfing the internet after that, etc. And if I start the day undisciplined, the whole rest of the day falls apart. If I'm going to do something lazy and undisciplined, I try to tell myself to procrastinate it to the end of the day, because I know if I do it at the beginning of the day, it's going to ruin the whole day. So if I'm going to do something like waste time on the internet or eat junk food or whatever it is, if I do it at the end of the day, it's actually not a big deal because I'm wasting the last 2 hours of my day, and it's not a big deal. I'm just resting, and the next day I can be disciplined again. But if you start the day undisciplined, it's going to be really hard to be disciplined in your learning or disciplined in anything else you're trying to do. So that's kind of my advice and how I've handled the whole overstuffing followed by laziness issues. Feel free to respond, and if you have your own ideas or things that have worked for you, feel free to share them.